Hi, friends. Sorry I can't be with you today. The pillow project's pretty simple. We're going to look at elements of design and evolving a shape. So one of the main things that I want for you is to have elasticity of thinking. If we were in class together, I'd ask you what that might mean. And for the most part, it's a way of thinking about taking an idea and stretching it. Maybe this way, maybe stretching it this way, okay? You're going to be able to make a pillow, right? Whether it's this, whether it's this, whatever type of imagery you want. It could be abstract shapes, or it could have an image, something like this. Whatever you want to come up with is fine. It could be a shape, a simple image. I want you to evolve your idea. So I'm going to be showing you how to fold paper, how to create enough iterations of your idea or different ideas to select one that's really good, which is, to this piece here, commit slowly. Don't get married in Vegas, meaning it's a little bit of a joke, the idea that sometimes people meet in Las Vegas, they escape there, they're going to have fun, they meet somebody and they're like, oh, let's get married, right? Because they have chapels that are open to 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I don't want you to meet something and get married right away. The idea being your first idea. Students always want to say, I have the best idea. It's my first idea. I love it. No. Take that idea and see what you can do with it. Evolve it. If you eventually want to come back to an idea around the first one, that's fine. But really explore different iterations, different variations, okay, evolutions of your idea, okay? And it could be separate ideas as well. Key thing here is your shapes, not too small. So for example, if this bird were a little smaller, right, it would be even harder to do, okay? If this triangle was this big, some of these rough edges might eventually rip and pull away. You need to have big enough shapes. That doesn't mean you can't put small details in with stitches. Don't confuse the two. What's going to be line and stitches, what's going to be shape, okay, and fabric. How you're going to use color. In this case, green and red are great complementary colors, okay? Also here we have high contrast as well, okay? Blue and orange, complementary colors. All right? Balance, the space around your shapes. Really wonderful use of negative space, the background coming through, and then the spaces that exist. This one might be a little weaker, but it's still considering space all around. So here is a Juan Miro painting. This is a great example of showing negative space. What if it was a blue background with a white shape stitched on top? What if it was a white background with a blue shape stitched on top? So it's a really interesting way to think about it. This is a Piet Mondrian piece called Broadway Boogie Woogie. And it's not the ideal piece for a pillow, but if we think about that word I said, iteration, right? What version of this could become much more like a pillow, okay? What version of that? And here we see some designers who've taken some of Mondrian's work and, you know, made their own pieces with it. We can take a look at the bag, right? If we look up and see that bag, that could very much be a pillow design. Or these boxes down here on the lower right here that you're looking at. Okay, so that's a way of evolving an idea which has certain elements and turning it into a applicable design, all right, for the project. This is a Picasso called Before a Mirror, and one of the reasons why I like to include it is it has lots of patterns and colors, right, and repetition of shapes, things that you might use in your design process, okay? Very simple piece by Joseph Albers. Basically, you have a background color, a yellow, an ochre, and a brown stacked up, right? 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and there it is. It's a really beautiful piece, all right? So simplicity can work as well. This is a Kandinsky painting. Now, some of these pieces, right, it's all circles, right, with different colors. Some of these pieces are really big and great. that could be used. Other pieces are too small and would have to be stitched. This is an artist named Julian Opie. And I like to use Julian Opie because he shows very simple representational images. So for example, if we look at the figure with the green background, it looks like a man and a woman. Imagine, especially in the man's figure, imagine one black shape and then white stitching for detail. Okay? So there's a lot of ways to do it. Same thing with the cars. A blue backing, black strip, white stitching for the lines of the road, a red shape, a white shape, a yellow shape, and then the shapes of the windows put on and everything else stitched. Okay? In general, I want you to think of applique as collage. Imagine if this was a black piece of paper, glued onto a yellow piece of paper, glued onto an orange piece of paper background. You've all done collage with glue. You're going to do collage with stitches and fabric. Here's some examples. Some of you have worked with a Femi in FAT. This was hers when she was in 6th grade many, many, many years ago. I actually think 11 years ago. Okay? So one of the things I like to show about this piece, even though it only uses 2 main fabrics, which I'd like you to use at least 4, is that it uses negative space around these images really beautifully, and also a nice contrast in the embroidery lines, the blue against the green, and then the green within the top fabric that also refers back to the background. Really nice, okay? Here's another one with a nice clean design. This one's similar but uses the blanket stitch as an accent. This one is a really wonderful piece and perhaps is one of the best examples of using fabric and stitches to form the whole idea of the piece. Okay? Notice the stitch area, notice the fabric area. This one is wonderful abstractions, just shapes, right? The negative space, even if it's not ideal, it's definitely considered, and perhaps it is ideal for the artist, okay? So it's definitely considered. You can see how they thought about how the shape around the shapes makes sense. This one's a little ambitious, right, with letters. Notice the fraying on the edges. Certain fabrics will fray more, and you have to be very careful about it. But really decent work. And right, nice little design work with stitches on these eyes on one of these characters, on the gold character. Okay. Here's another one with layers of fabric in different ways. All right. Also, a feather was stitched into this design. This is another use of very simple image with just a little bit of embroidery to create detail. All right. Here's one that was similar to this one and inspired by. And you can see a lot of stitches, some fabric, but you can see as the fabric got thinner, it frayed and it's difficult, okay? So keep that in mind. This is a wonderful one, right, that goes right off the edge. It's a pizza with olives and pepperoni. Really nice work with that, okay? You wouldn't want to get smaller than this, okay, than these images. They did a good job, and they also overdid the stitching, which was necessary, otherwise it would fray. Water coming out of a spout. Nice little pencil on notepad. Okay, this one, This one is an egg with a little extra stuffing on a skillet, which is on a flame, which is on a background. Really beautiful layering, and that's totally something you can do, is to think about a scene you want to depict. This one was a sailboat scene, okay? This one was a teddy bear, okay? You have many options. I want you to think about it. I'm going to now show you how to fold the paper and to prep. Hello, friends. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I want you to fold this paper and what to do next. So you're going to get a big piece of paper, okay? And I want you to take one corner and line it up with one corner. I've kept my finger on that. I now take the next corner and hold it on that. Now watch what I do with my hands. I keep the paper still and I walk my hands to the center. I hold one hand down and pull one hand back to crease, right? To crease this line. And I do that full crease, okay? That's nicely done. Maybe not 100% perfect, but pretty good. I then now take the long end and I fold it once more corner to corner, corner to corner, walk my hands to the center, pull it back, and work on the crease. I then can open this up, and I have 4 areas for drawing on each side. And this size, right, this size of this rectangle is the exact size your pillow is going to be. Okay? So that will allow you to fully design your pillow. What I want you to do is, during this period when I'm not here, maybe not do all of this, but do a few different designs. I'm going to leave out pencils and the paper for you to do this with. And what there are some templates and things like that, but I want you to do this without it. Pick a couple of designs that you really like, do them, and then take those couple of designs and create riffs on it. Like, imagine, what if I made it bigger? Or what if I took an element from this design and an element from that design and put them together? Okay? And then next class, we will work together in getting towards your final pieces. So maybe do 4, 1/2 of it during this class session. Okay? Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing your work.